Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar, Effortless Onboarding, how Protecht simplifies your GRC transition. I'm Luna Restrepo, one of the product marketing managers at Protecht, and I'm joined today by Rachelle Baker, our head of ERM Implementation and Advisory. Before we get started, Rachelle, let me explain a little bit about Protecht and what we do. Okay? So Protecht is a leading provider of integrated risk management solutions, and for over 20 years, our platform has been helping organizations streamline their risk, compliance, and governance processes through intuitive, flexible technology and expert support. We have presence in 3 big regions, and each day we are also thinking in how can we get better and bigger. Okay. Now that we have explained what Protecht is, well, we don't cover some housekeeping items before we dive into the topic. This session will go for about 30 minutes, and if you have questions, please add them at any time to the right side of the webinar control panel, and we will get back to you by email if we don't have time to respond to you today. Also, at the end of this webinar, we will share a short survey. It would be great if you can please provide your feedback. That way we can just get better and better, and we can also improve this session and think about other topics that we can cover in the future. After this, we're going to be preparing the recording and the slides of these sessions, and we are going to be sending all this material to your email address. Also, you're going to have access to this session and to these resources in the webinar website, in the Knowledge Center on the Protecht website. Okay. Okay, now we are ready to dive in. And as you can see in the screen, we're going to cover 4 big topics: manual versus legacy software. That is going to be talking about where most of our customers are coming from. 2, the setup for onboarding success. So what can you do and what our team is going to do as well to make sure your experience is going to be seamless. Third point is going to be the step-by-step implementation process. And then we're going to finish covering some of the success stories and summary of what Protecht is a really good risk management provider and what really set Protecht apart from our competitors. Welcome again, Rachelle. And while we don't quickly get started explaining why we decided to do this webinar today.
Absolutely, Luna. So one of the most common questions we get from prospective customers is what's our approach to implementation and how do we ensure success, especially when they are investing time and resources in getting the system set up. So choosing a GRC partner means putting your trust in the process, and that process needs to be smooth, efficient, and value driven. So we've heard lots of difficult stories of implementations that drag on for months, blown budgets, drained resources, and systems that just don't meet expectations. Well, that's not the Protecht way. And today's webinar is going to show you exactly what our implementation journey looks like, how we make it simple, transparent, and pain-free as possible. And we'll also touch on some of the learnings that we have had over our 20 plus years in the industry and 18 years with Protecht software.
Thank you, Rachelle. And that sounds really good. Well, we don't get started talking about where most of our customers are starting from. What are the 2 most common scenarios that we face?
Yep, absolutely. So when it boils down to it, most organizations we're working with are starting from one of 2 places. The first is manual processes. They're managing risk through spreadsheets, emails, Word documents, or PDFs. And these tools are time consuming and prone to error. The second is legacy software. So they might have a system in place, but it's rigid, outdated, or difficult to use. It might have been a good fit a decade ago when they put it in, but now it's holding them back.
And what are the pain points of each of those 2 approaches?
So what we commonly see for manual users, the pain is really around inefficiencies, the data silos it creates, and the lack of visibility. If you've got your risks captured in spreadsheets across the organization, there's often different template formats, and there's no easy way to aggregate or have visibility of those risks. For those that are using legacy platforms, it's about outgrowing the system and struggling to adapt to the ever evolving regulatory and risk needs.
Okay, so independently, if a customer is coming from manual processes, Excel spreadsheets, Word, or a different risk management system, how does Protect help with that transition?
Absolutely. So, no matter where you're starting from, we have a clearly defined structure to take you from onboarding through to go live. We tailor this process to your environment, your teams, and your goals. This slide outlines the whole journey from start to finish for the implementation, and then touches a little bit about the rollout and adoption, our ongoing support through account management advisory services, and of course, those ongoing enhancements to keep up with what's happening within the industry. So while this slide covers the whole journey, today we are going to focus a lot on the implementation and our milestone-based approach, which is tried and tested within a large number of customers.
Okay, and why we don't get in and explain each of those steps? What should a customer know before onboarding starts, for example, and what is after that?
Yeah, great question. And I guess everything starts before the implementation even kicks off. So there's a few things an organization can do to prepare for success. Identifying key stakeholders and users early allows you to have a common understanding of success factors and align on those key requirements. Gather any existing documentation such as risk registers, workflow, and reporting templates you're using. Be ready to discuss your pain points. So, your pain points are the foundation for how we tailor the platform to truly work for you. And then finally, and probably one of the most important things you can do, even before the implementation kicks off, is think about that internal adoption. This includes your change management and ongoing expansion of the system. By getting it up and running, you then need to roll it out to the business. And we do have some change management templates that we can provide as part of our implementation to guide you through that step if you're unsure. Great, Luna. So let's kick into the milestone-based approach.
Yes, please.
So before we start, it's important to mention at Protecht, this end-to-end implementation process is completed by our dedicated Protecht advisors. We don't outsource any of these steps that I describe, and it is a huge differentiator between us and other vendors that need to delegate this to external parties. This, in many cases, ends up being more expensive and complex for the customer. So before we even kick off, we do set up a dedicated project team. So we have lead advisors that are very experienced in doing these implementations, and they get intimate with your requirements and what you need from the system. We have a dedicated project management office, which is able to support customers through that project management process as well. So our milestone-based approach. What I'll talk about first is the kickoff and design. So we begin the project kickoff by aligning on our objectives, timelines, and responsibilities, and setting up that project team, both on our side and working with the customer to understand what they require for the implementation journey. So depending on your current state, we will either review your documentation and leverage alongside our industry knowledge, run collaborative design workshops, or if you're looking for a more rapid deployment method and you're earlier in your maturity journey, or you would like to leverage out of the box, we do have Protecht Marketplace, which allows us to stand out templates which require very little configuration and definitely speed up the implementation approach. So during milestone 1, we also assess our technical considerations. We look at things like single sign-on to ensure usability for end users and how they access the platform, APIs or integrations that are required with existing systems. Now, once we've completed milestone one, we have our design completed, whether that is completely out of the box or it is a configured solution. We then move on to milestone two, which is build and testing. So build and testing is where we complete a full build of your system, incorporating any requested design changes and configure your key automated workflow notifications. So this is things such as alerting end users when new entries are created or need to be actioned, due date reminders, as well as setting up roles and permissions to support precise control over access to functions and data within the system. So we support our customers by completing our internal QA first and developing resources to support them through their user acceptance testing. This user acceptance testing process is designed to ensure that the system aligns with your business process, and our guidance and doing the legwork here allows your team to focus on the testing without having to absorb time in developing test cases or plans, and it really speeds up that journey for a customer. Finally, we move on to milestone three. This is where we get ready for go live. We purge any test data, we migrate your live data, and what this means is if you've got data in legacy systems or Excel documents, we can make sure that's migrated into the system for day one so you can start getting reporting out straight away. And then we transition into the production environment. At the same time we're doing this go live preparation, we deliver training for end users and administrators. We build our analytics dashboards and reports. So I touched on earlier the out-of-the-box marketplace packages. Those do have a whole suite of dashboards and reports that can assist customers on day one, or we can tailor to your needs as well. Once we've got this, we go live with full support and we work with you to transition into using the system.
Thank you, Rachelle, for sharing that complete journey with us and the different three really well-defined milestones that really is designed to take the customers in a successful journey from beginning to end. Why we don't share now some of real results experiences? Do you have anything that you on top of your mind that you would like to share with the guys that are online with us now about successful stories?
Yeah, absolutely. So, look, I've been with Protecht for over 10 years, and our customers inspire me every day and my team every day with what they can achieve in their Protecht ERM instances. We have customers using it for so many different things that we've created, marketplace packages that they've leveraged, but also things that they've built themselves and rolled out to their organization. So as a truly global platform, we are used in over 130 countries, and Protecht ERM has enabled organizations of all sizes to transform their approach to risk. One use case that stands out is Pay UK. They went live with the core system in just 60 days and completed a full rollout within 6 months. I think this is definitely remarkable for a national payments authority. Some others that are kind of highlights for me, we had an Australian education provider transition from spreadsheets to a fully implemented ERM framework in under 4 months. We had Lotto NZ quickly adopt the system, valuing its ease of use and efficiencies it brought them. And then New Zealand AA or Automobile Association called the implementation life-changing. In a good way, life-changing. So they shifted their risk ownership to the first line and adapted seamlessly to regulatory demands. So these stories are just a glimpse into a few of the customers that Protecht has had an impact on and the impact we have around the world. There are a number of other success stories and case studies on our website if you'd like to check them out and hopefully find an organization just like yours.
Yeah, that is very impressive. Just to listening to these stories, and as you mentioned, is far more material available as social proof. If you want to just go to the website and find out about all the other case studies we have PDFs, videos, blog articles, different materials supporting that social proof that the customers are happy with how things are working for them and how things were going in all this implementation journey. Okay, what we don't talk a little bit about what sets Protect apart. We already spoke about the journey, how we are doing in our end part of the team, like all the team work to have some success, but what really sets Protect apart as an organization as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, these are the kind of the top six things that came to mind and what we've heard from customers. So the first is the structured milestone approach that guides you every step of the way, and it does include a quick and streamlined implementation. I touched on it earlier, but our marketplace packages, which are out of the box, allow for rapid deployment with very minimal impact from the team. We have a personalized in-house approach with seasoned risk and implementation professionals, and unlike many other GRC vendors, we never outsource our implementation. The flexibility to adapt the platform to your unique processes, a strong support team that's there to support you throughout your journey with Protecht. Our partnership does last well beyond the implementation, with additional resources available to our customers, including Protecht Academy, WalkMe, customer service 24/7, and a really detailed help documentation. And of course, we are very proud of our high customer retention rate that is currently 98%, with our longest standing customer being with us for over 18 years. So I guess, Luna, I'd like to wrap up before I hand over to you with a little quote. So, implementation should build your confidence, not your stress, and we're with you every step of the way.
Yeah, thank you, Rachel. That phrase really summarizes what we are trying to achieve from Protect. We really want to offer confidence to you during all this complex process and just giving you peace of mind that we're going to be with you every step of the way, as Rachel mentioned, and as she covered through this past 20 minutes. Thank you so much, Rachel. Again, that was incredibly helpful. Uh, we were hoping to have time for Q&A at the end, but unfortunately we are out of time now. So please enter your questions into the webinar platform as I mentioned from the beginning, and we will get back to you with answers later on. Also, just a reminder that we have the buyer's guide and the business case template available to download here in the webinar, or you can head to the Knowledge Center on our website for these resources and a lot of more things you can download, share with the team, send to colleagues. Also, we have a survey at the end of this session. If you could please take a minute to fill it up, I promise it's really, really quick and it's going to be super helpful for us to improve these webinars and to create further content. So that would be great if you can please help us with that really, really quick feedback. If you would like to learn more about how Protect can help your organization, contact our team or reach out directly at marketing@protect.com.au with any questions, any feedback. We would really love to hear from you. Thank you again for joining us to everybody that is live right now. We hope to work with you very, very soon. Thanks for everything. Thanks, Rachel, again as well.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.